got a new shirt, and before I cut off the sleeves, I thought I'd at least make one video when it's still whole. I hate sleeves, so yeah. Well, we were living in Clark Freeport Zone. Here is a video about that in Angeles City in the Philippines. And I would say we were living much more American style than Filipino style. And we were living in the Korean part, so lots of Korean food available there. So mostly we went shopping at hypermarket at the mall, and the mall was outside of Clark, of that zone, but really right there by the border. And it was also very Americanized, and they were selling to a lot of non-Filipino people. So lots of American, Japanese, and Korean food available. So no problem at all finding meat and seafood. They had different kinds of ground beef open by the butcher section, and I think one was sirloin for sure, so ground up sirloin, and I think another one was just round, or I don't remember honestly, but there were multiple like different kinds. And then there were also cheaper ones, and some they were just called, I think, hypermarket ground beef, or I don't know, just like from not a specific part of the animal, but also there different variations, different prices. And there was one, really not the cheapest, the second cheapest one, that looked and tasted like the ground beef we got in Montenegro. The one we got there at the halal butcher, and it looked the same. So it was like really mushy, and you can barely form patties out of it. With the one from Montenegro, I could form patties, kinda. The one from the Philippines, no way. By the way, here is a Carnivore in Montenegro. And it tasted really good, really fatty. And when we already had that in Montenegro, I was so sure they also put organs in it. They mixed other stuff in it, but I don't know. And honestly, I don't think so. But it had like a different taste, but really good. So we could get, well, not the same, but really similar one in the Philippines. We like that a lot. What I loved best was that you could take out your own meat, also by the butcher section. So that display case also opened on the side from the customer. So you could just ask for tongs and a bag, and you opened it up and you could take out whatever you wanted, put it in a bag, and gave it to them to weigh it out. So I love that. I always like picking my own meat and seafood. The same by the seafood counter. There you got a basket and tongs, and you just picked out and put it in whatever you want, handed them the basket back, and they cleaned it, packed it up, weighed it out. We told them multiple times to please not cut the fins off by the fish, because I love it when the fins get crispy, and then eating that, not the whole fin, but like the very ends that get crispy. I love that. But in the Philippines, they just well, at least there, they just cut off the fins. So I kept telling them, but then the guy gives it to another guy, and then he did the fish stuff, and I kept telling that one guy, no, don't cut the fins, but it never worked. They always got cut off. They have lots of water, many different kinds of brands. Of course, you don't drink the tap water there, but no sparkling water. Oh no, there is sparkling water. Yes, I found sparkling water. I gotta show that to Paul. So I went over to Paul where he was in the grocery store somewhere else, and apparently at the same time he found the same kinds of sparkling water, just already cooled down in a different part. So we found the sparkling water at the same time, kinda. So funny. And so 42 cents for one can, not bad for something that is not very popular in that part of the world. There are different cashier lanes at hypermarket. Super cool. So that is Rowdy. Rowdy, one of the cats. We are cat sitting here, 3 cats, but I'm not in the Philippines anymore. I'm in Mae Rim, Thailand. So this is not about Thailand. Let's go back to Carnivore in the Philippines. You can stay here, but okay. So the different cashier lines. So there is a priority line, I guess, for like old people, invalid people, pregnant people. Then there's a VIP lane, and you have to spend a certain amount of money per year in that store to be able to use that VIP lane. That's what Randy told us, our host in the Philippines. Here is the video how all our plans got changed in the Philippines. So at least once Randy gave Paul his VIP lane card to use, but we didn't think it went faster. Hypermarket was almost always really so packed full, and it was normal that you stood in line for 1 hour, and it didn't even depend which line. Then there was also another line for just baskets, and then you can have these carts where you can put 2 baskets in, so one on top, one down there. So instead of a cart, you just have like a cart with 2 baskets, so you can go through that lane with the baskets. And then there are people, they take 2 of those carts, so they have 4 baskets full of stuff, so it's like the same amount, probably the same amount like they would have just a normal shopping cart, but they take that so they can go through the basket lane. So the basket lane is also not always faster. It always depends, but usually always such a long wait. So what we usually did, while I was still shopping around, still getting meat and fish and stuff, Paul stood already in line. And also once I kept staying in line when Paul actually went out of hypermarket and got and went into the mall, into another store, or even 2 other stores to get other stuff. And I just stood in line until he came back. And so yeah, and the cashiers there, they took their sweet time. So they didn't care how long the line was. They weren't stressed out at all. And there was even a bench by the cashier lines, multiple benches, so you could sit down at least. The receipts were great though, not printed on those apparently BPA loaded papers. No, just on regular paper. So I thought that was pretty cool. I love it that they leave the rinds on the pork chops. So much better. I love that so much more. Pork tastes so much better in the Philippines than beef. They don't age their beef, so it stays quite tough. But the pork is very good, especially the pork chops. They're so delicious. Ooh, and once I got a pork tomahawk chop, and that was so absolutely delicious. Sometimes I mixed the eye of the pork chop into Tinkerbell's food. Tinkerbell was the dog that we took care of, Randy's dog. And the eye is my least favorite part of the chop because it's so lean and sometimes so dry. So I sometimes just mixed it in her food. Tinkerbell gets to eat very lean pork anyways, mixed with rice, carrots, and pumpkin. And some kibbles on top. So Tinkerbell's food was all cooked. The vegetables, the rice, the meat, and well, not the kibbles, but so most times when I prepared Tinkerbell's food, well, when I pre-cooked the meat, I made a whole bunch of it, and I took some fatty ones out for me because she's more supposed to get the lean ones, so perfect. The fatty meat I like better anyways, usually. We lived in the Philippines from January 17th until March 4th, 2025. And during that time, I made lechon liempo twice. That is something traditional Filipino. So more about that in the video, Traditional Foods in the Philippines. There's even more carnivore stuff in the video, Traditional Foods in the Philippines, about alimasak, blue crab, so delicious, pig's ears and salted duck eggs that I both never had before. Well, that certain crab also not. And you should definitely watch this video as well. There's also lots of carnivore stuff in that video. Yeah, Randy had a brand new non-stick skillet, and that's exactly what I need to make hummus and also tornado omelets. I spent many hours, days, weeks, like really, I'm not exaggerating. I spent so much time on learning how to make hummus, and if I don't keep doing them once in a while, I lose it. So I was so happy that I could do that again. And once I figured out how much fat I needed, how much egg, how the temperature, how much heat. So once I figured that out, I managed to make some very shitty, crappy ones. And also made some tornado omelets. But it doesn't matter how they turn out, how crappy, they're always super delicious. But of course, it's still nice when you have like a really nice, pretty omu or tornado. So for my second attempt, actually not bad at all for a tornado omelet. Because you know, everywhere the stove, the pans are different, so I kind of figured it out here. And they have goodies below, lots of stew meat, pork and beef. Oh, and one omu, after I cut it open, I put ground beef in it and then ate it like that. Oh, that was so delicious. I read before getting to the Philippines that it's almost impossible to find non-iodized salt there. But not at all. At hypermarket, there were so many pure Himalayan pink salts available. So no problem at all. So of course you don't want to drink the tap water in the Philippines, but it's totally okay to brush your teeth with it. The tap water got scalding hot, but never really cold, well, where we were living. March 1st is Randy's birthday. We left March 4th. So on March 1st, he invited us and some other people to the Gochi restaurant buffet at the Marriott Hotel. There was also carnivore foods available. Very cool. At the Japanese station where they had sushi, they also had sashimi, meaning just raw fish. Unfortunately, only salmon. And also the sushi they made, they only had either raw salmon or raw tuna in the sushi. I think that's so cheap. Well, don't get me wrong, not like cheap, but it's like always, when you think about sushi and sashimi, it's always raw salmon, raw tuna. Yeah, I love raw salmon, I love raw tuna, but I want to try something else. I'm always hoping for some other kind of fish, for something new, something I never had before, or something that's hard to get, or not just always salmon and tuna. I think as much as, well, I don't eat sushi, but I eat sashimi, and as much as I like raw salmon and raw tuna, for a place where they serve sashimi and sushi, I think it's so fucking boring. But nevertheless, I ate some of the raw salmon and it was absolutely delicious. Right next to it, there was lots of seafood. So the alimasak blue crab that I already had for myself at home once, I made it myself. And two kinds of shrimp, black mussels, calamari, and ulang, that is a giant freshwater prawn. I took one of each except for the small shrimp and the black mussels. I'm not really a black mussels fan. I can eat it, it's good, certain recipes, but nah. So there were 3 ways you could choose from how it should get prepared for you, the seafood. Unfortunately, I forgot what the 3 ways were. I think one was with butter and something. Another one for sure was like spicy. And then there was a third one. And of course, I didn't choose any of them. And I just asked if I could have it steamed. Nothing on it, just steamed. They said no problem. I had to wait quite a while, and then suddenly 2 plates came and there were chives on it. I told them I can't eat that. Well, that's not true. I have a digestive system, I have a mouth, I could eat basically anything. I could try to eat this, I can eat anything. But anyways, I told them I really can't have anything on it, really nothing. So they took it back and I picked out more seafood again. And this time I take from everything I took last time 2, except for the calamari, just 1 calamari, because I thought I had to wait quite a while and I thought, oh, I can always get a second time. But now I already choose the second time. I don't want to have to wait a third time. So I rather get 2 of everything except the calamari. So I waited again quite a while and then it was perfect. I got 2 plates of all the seafood I chose, just steamed. And like usually always, I brought my own salt. So yes, let's go.
You get that head juice.
Shit. Honestly, it wasn't bad at all, but the shrimp were quite overcooked. The calamari was also a little bit overcooked. The giant prawn, the ulang, was also a bit overcooked. The crabs, honestly, when I made the crabs at home by myself, it was so much better. It was just so much more tasty. So overcooked seafood is just a no-go. It's just not tasty at all. But again, it wasn't bad, it was good, but just not that good. This is one of my problems when going out. 18 times out of 20 times, I could make it better. Well, for my tasting, of course, but I could make it much better. So what's the point of going out? So for me, eating out before I was carnivore was like this. I always ordered something that was either completely new, that I didn't know, that was special, that was weird, that I can't make myself, that you can't get anywhere else, that I can't get, or that I know they can make it so much better than I can. It just had to be something special and worth it. Now I'm so limited what I'm eating. And so back in Reno, there was a time we went sometimes to steakhouses. And yes, of course, they had much higher quality steak there in the restaurants than we bought for us at home. But almost always, I preferred the ones I made at home for myself. I just like them better, much cheaper and better tasting. So really, what's the point of eating out anymore? Okay, an all-you-can-eat buffet, seafood buffet, is most likely cheaper than if I would buy all the seafood myself, just the ones I would eat, and make it for myself at home. So yeah, I think an all-you-can-eat seafood buffet is actually cheaper. And yeah, by the way, I think I didn't mention that the buffet Randy invited us to was all-you-can-eat. Oh, and also here really quickly, I hate the word, how it's used in English, inviting. In Switzerland, when I tell you I invite you, that means I pay for you. So yeah, Randy was so generous and he invited like everyone, us and all his friends. So he paid for everyone. So like a real invitation, and not like, oh, I invite you, but you have to pay for yourself. Sorry, for me, that's not an invitation. That's for me just, hey, you want to join me? Okay, back to why should I even go out to eat? Yeah, I have to keep reminding myself, I'm not going out to eat anymore for food. Yes, even though still every time if I know we go there or there, beforehand I look up the menu online and already look up and choose what I want, and I'm always so looking forward for the food. Yes, that's the problem when you're obsessed with food, but I have to keep reminding myself, you don't go out because of the food. You go out because of the company. Anyways, back to the buffet. I know I'm jumping around a little bit. So back to the buffet. I still really enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, and there was even something else I could eat. They had a suckling pig, luau style. No, most likely not luau style, Filipino style, lechon. So lechon is a whole pig roasted on a rotisserie spit over hot coals or like open fire. So yeah. And the best thing, there was nothing on it, like no spices, not even salt, so totally clean, carnivore, yeah. The tail was my favorite. Oh, I loved it. This is so good! Okay. The guy there that served it said the tongue tastes a little bit like liver. I'm not a liver fan at all, but I had to try it. I never had pork tongue before, and hell no, that doesn't taste like liver. It's much better than liver. It was a bit hard, especially towards the tip, a bit like chewy, but I didn't mind. I liked it. It was tasty. It was good, much better than liver. So I made the mistake and asked for ribs. I didn't see beforehand that they actually stuffed the pig with some plant material. So when I got the ribs, I ate a little bit from the top, but underneath there was still like green stuff, and I just gave them to Paul and he enjoyed them. I also had some neck or cheeks and some of the skin. And for dessert, I had a trotter because I actually went back for a third time to get some food from the suckling pig, and the suckling pig wasn't like self-serve. There was someone behind it and you kind of told him what you want and he cut it off and gave it to you, but there was no one around anymore. So I just took the trotter and put it on my plate because that was the easiest just to grab. The restaurant was open till 10 p.m. and yes, towards the end, people didn't really go anymore to the meat or seafood or the other stations. They just grabbed desserts, nuts and fruits and stuff like that. But even before I was carnivore, always, yeah, really, I think always when I was at a buffet, after I was eating dessert, I always went back to get a salad, some more salad or something savory. I always had that feeling after dessert, oh, I need something savory again. So in my opinion, every station should be occupied from the workers there all the time until the very end. Or no, okay, if there's really nothing going on, no, I don't mind, then the workers should leave the station and do something else. But when they see someone coming to a station, they should go back and serve them, no matter what time it is. That's what happened to me. I was actually standing in front of that suckling pig for quite a while, but no one ever showed up. So if you're open till 10 p.m., I would say till, well, I don't know, actually till 10 p.m. or 9:45. It was maybe 9 o'clock that I wanted some more. So it wasn't like really close to 10 p.m. No, I remember. It was maybe 9 o'clock or not even. Still, again, I really enjoyed the buffet there. I got more than enough to eat, and I got more than enough variety to eat. I'm actually very happy when I don't have too many things to choose from to eat for me as a carnivore. Because I'm so food obsessed, I then most times need to try every single thing. And especially when I don't know something, I have to try everything. And so you see how much carnivore is saving me here actually? Imagine me at the buffet and having that urge to try every single thing. Carnivore makes it so much easier to have my food and eating obsession under control, especially in this nomad life. Imagine all those different countries, all those new places, new stores, new restaurants, the urge to having to try everything new, everything I don't know yet, every variety, every kind of it, everything. So yeah, carnivore really saves me there. Otherwise, I would get so sick again, mentally and physically. Stay happy, stay healthy.